Hello again. It's good to see you. We have been away for a little bit, but we're going to take you along with us today because we are back in the upstate of South Carolina, and we are starting to work on some projects that we've closed on in the past week or so. And so we are this morning, we're heading out to a property, a mobile home property that's located in Inman, South Carolina. And this is a property where we did purchase the mobile home with the land. And this property does have some unique features. So we look forward to showing you that property today.
This one's quite interesting. It has a little small cemetery on it. Usually these are properties that we don't buy, but this one is very unique. And we still think that it's a property that we think we can do well on, so we decided to close on it. And so we'll go see that when I'm meeting up with a land clearing company and meeting up with a contractor to look inside the mobile home and see what type of work that needs to get done, and for him to give us a quote on what it would cost for his services. And then we'll hop back in our car and drive over to another property we closed on last week, or on June 30th. It's in Campobello, South Carolina, another mobile home on land, but we actually bought the property next door to it, which was 2 acres vacant land. So it's 4 acres total. We love this project. We actually, we're going to put this one back on the market and do a quick sale. We had a cleaning crew go in when we were out of town. They cleaned the home. And then now we're just going to get it ready for pictures and put it back on the market early next week. Actually, I think we're going to put it on the market Monday, according to our realtor. We drive over to another property that we got delayed. We were going to close on that one 2 weeks ago as well. That got delayed because we want to detitle it first before we close on it. So we're going to go take a look at that one. We're going to just confirm whether or not they have the wheels and the axles removed, because that's part of the process to detitle it. So we'll swing by there today also, and I think that's pretty much it. I think that's what we have as far as the agenda on the real estate assets that we have. Tag along.
All right, so we're checking back in because we just finished meeting a land clearing guy at the first property in Inman, and where there's a lot of clearing that's needed of the vegetation and the trees. And we just wanted to pop in to give our reaction because we haven't been out here in about a month and a half at the property. And
yeah, so it was a lot more vegetation that has overgrown since the last time we've been out here. So that has increased our budget as far as what I had budgeted for to clear it. We're looking at an acre. We're looking at about $7,000. Remember, this property here is 1.9 acres. For a smaller portion, maybe a quarter of an acre to right at 3/4 of an acre, would cost us about $4,000 to clear it based on his estimate. He's going to write it up and give us a quote. We're going to meet another guy out here another contractor who can give us a quote on what it would take to help clear the land. The major part of this that's going to cost us, that's going to increase the budget on just the clearing, is removing of the pottery. There is pottery everywhere.
It's a lot of debris.
There's probably hundreds of potteries and pallets and different items that the previous owner used to kind of have a garden out here and just in
they had a small
part of her hobby.
Small horticulture business, where they sold plants at the local farmers market. So there's a little makeshift greenhouse and a lot of debris and pottery left over from that old business.
Yeah, so our budget seems like it's going to be increasing a little bit. I only wanted to set aside about $10,000 for clearing and doing the renovations to the home. but it looks like it's creeping up to at least closer to 15, but we'll see. We'll have another guy come out here and take a look at it, but we're just a little surprised by how much it has overgrown since the last time we were out here. So we're gonna head over to another property and then come back to meet our vendor, another contractor, because he said he won't be out here till 11. So that gives us enough time to swing over to the other property.
We are now here at the second property today, the one in Campobello, the double wide mobile home that we are going to be renovating. And we're here today because Jermaine needs to look underneath the mobile home to check and see whether it still has the tongue on the mobile home.
So we are here at our second property for today, and this is a property that we showed you in one of our videos. You can actually check it out. We came through and did a walkthrough of the inside and the outside, the exterior. But today we're checking to see whether or not this property has the axles and the wheels removed, because this is part of the process where we need to pass in order for us to be able to detitle the home. So had to come out here, just wanted to run out here really quick, take some pictures, and see if, you know, those items have been removed. So just going through and just checking underneath and seeing how this process is done. We're kind of learning as we go here with this whole detailing process, but we know this is one of the parts that we have to go through to pass. So
all right, so we finished up at Campobello, so we are now headed back to Inman so we can meet up with the second vendor that's going to meet us out at the property to give us another quote on the clearing of the land. We do, when we can, try to get 2 or 3 quotes, you know, multiple quotes, so that we can compare and make sure we're getting the best pricing for the work that we're contracting out to do. But it does take some work because you do have to then coordinate with more than one company to get a quote. But Jermaine did a good job of trying to stack those appointments today. So we're heading back out to Inman to meet up with that second vendor. We're back at the property now, and while we're waiting for the second vendor, I did want to mention that we are going to go inside of this property too, because we are looking at having it renovated. We're trying to, the goal with this property is to get it habitable, so that an investor or a buyer can move in and live in the property. You know, we don't intend to deck it out, because that would over improve it for this area, but we are looking at doing some rehab and renovations to get the property habitable again. So this vendor will not only be giving us a price for the land clearing, but also a quote for doing some of that demo work and other work inside the property. So we are inside of the property here in Campobello. We did finish up our second vendor appointment out in Inman, and I think it went well.
that one went well. That one we were able to get a quote. He was able to give us a quote there on the spot. And that one came in lower than the first quote, but it's a guy that's going to do a lot of the work himself with cleaning up the debris and all the pottery, and then doing the cleaning up the vegetation. So that's why it came in a little bit lower than the company vendor that we had come out there. And so it looks like we made a deal to go with them, and they will get started next week.
Yep. And so we are at our last property here on site now, and this property has been cleaned and prepared for being put on the market. We're just laying eyes on it to make sure that it looked good. And
it does. The cleaning crew did a good job. I will give a shout out to who they are. I don't want to misspell their name, but I think it's Amora was the company that we went with to help us clean and get this property ready for pictures to then be put on the market. So This property is a kind of quick turnaround for us. We were going to subdivide it after talking to our realtor and kind of going over the different comps. It just honestly made sense just to put it back on the market as is. It is a nice property. It's a mobile home that sits on 2 acres. You can subdivide this property by itself and make it into 2 if you wanted to. So have the mobile home and another home next to it. And then we bought the vacant land next door. It's another 2 acres. So you can also subdivide that into 2 if a buyer wanted to and put 2 more homes there or developers. So this is a good property, we think, for us, and we should do pretty well. So it looks like pictures have been taken according to our realtor, and we'll put it on the market next week, Monday.
So that pretty much does it for the day today. Thanks for coming along with us and just seeing a little bit about what we do on a day-to-day basis. And we will see you the next time.